we expecting a lot of people? Or?
We had the first session this morning in European time, and this is the second meeting of the day for people in the US in North America time zone. So I don't know if someone else will join, but let's wait 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll start.
Okay.
So where are you based?
I'm based in Tampa, Florida.
Okay. Okay, let us start. This is the first time you join the meetings?
Yeah. So I'm just to be honest, I'm just I'm a independent database consultant, so interested in open source. I'm just going to different places and looking for interesting learning new things. So I opened yeah, I first got interested in security and then licensing. So and then SBOM is related to both. So that's why I'm interested in including what OpenChain is doing.
Okay, very good. So yes, we are the telco working group, so telecommunication working group. So the main participants are from operators or telcos. So we have people from Nokia. I'm from Nokia. We have people from Ericsson. We have people from Japanese companies, KDDI, Toshiba, Sony, and others. And what we did last year was to create a specification. I don't know if you had time to look at it. We wanted to um, create a specification of what is a good SBOM specification. So it's listed on our website. I'm sharing my screen. So I don't know if you had time to check this specification, but it's hello Gagay.
Hello, hello.
So Gagay is my colleague, one of my colleagues from Nokia. And here we have a new attendee, Victor Lu, who is joining from Florida as an independent consultant. So I was explaining that we created this specification for quality SBOM for telcos. So the specification has been finalized last year. What we wanted it to be formally approved by the OpenChain board. What they told us is that it was too detailed to be called a specification in the in the OpenChain sense. So we will probably rename it as a guide. So it contains a number of things about how the SBOM should look like in terms of language. We have said it should be in SPDX with a number of fields, and it also contains a number of recommendations on how to produce this SBOM, when, and a number of other considerations.
You have some questions. So
Yeah,
my
sure.
my understanding of OpenChain versus SPDX is SPDX actually go into the actual details of SBOM and add an additional field as necessary, whereas OpenChain is more about the process, doesn't even go into the details of the actual field at least in most cases. Is that true?
Yes, a company can say it is conformant to the OpenChain specification if it can answer yes to a list of questions about how they manage software. So OpenChain is now an ISO standard, and companies can claim conformance to this standard. It's called a chain because it links in a standard way companies who exchange software. So
Yes, but let me add one clarification. So that
yeah.
is true for the OpenChain open source license compliance program specification, but on top of that, OpenChain is doing many other things, including, for example, the security assurance program process specification and this Telco SBOM specification work. And in this Telco SBOM specification work, we are trying to define or agree on what kind of fields do we expect in an SPDX file.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, the first OpenChain standard is what I talked about. Is about how to handle software. Yes, in terms of licensing, and that is an ISO standard since a few years, and now they issued a second standard on how to handle software in terms of security, and this has been adopted as an ISO standard in a few days or weeks back. So that is quite new. So these are two OpenChain ISO standards. What you are doing here in the telco working group is is not as ambitious as these two ISO standards. We want to be practical on what an SBOM, a good SBOM should look like.
So, this is the hard part. I'm trying to figure out how. So I saw this detail should be worked in the SPDX working group, not OpenChain. I could be wrong. I'm just learning the process. Have you joined the SPDX working?
Yes. What we say in this telco specification, in this telco SPOP specification, is that SPDX should be used as the language for creating the SBOM. But you might know that there is at least one other standard to create an SBOM, which is called Cyclone DX. So we have chosen SPDX for some reasons which are detailed in our document. And yes, we have discussed this with the SPDX people. That was, for instance, discussed in the Open Source Summit in Bilbao. So perhaps, well, that's not yet done, but they suggested there that we could include this telco spec in a future version of SPDX, namely SPDX 3.1. So yes, we are coordinating with the SPDX team.
Yeah, okay. So that I just posted that link, those SPDX meetings. So this been discussed in those meetings as well.
Yes.
Second is I actually used to work for telecom for several years for a company called Sprint, not a part actually part of a what is called T-Mobile, part of Deutsche Telekom actually. So what when it comes to telecom, what other yeah, to be honest, I haven't read this document in detail, but what are the main reasons for different SBOM requirement difference from other industry?
Well, we defined what fields we consider important and so mandatory in a good SBOM. So it's primarily intended to be used in the telco industry, but there are not real specificities to telcos, so it could be also used by other industries.
Yeah, because there's a foundation called OpenID Foundation. That in there they have a FAPI API security standard designed for financial, but it actually applies to every industry. So same thing here, I guess. This is designed for telco, but it's not nothing specific about telco actually, right? It can be adopted by other industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, so are there other specific points you want to discuss?
Um, I'm interested in the with SPX 3.0, the the profile feature make development a lot simpler. So does this OpenChain spec is that version specific, or does it matter? SPDX 2.0 or 3.0? Does it matter?
Yes. Currently there are two main versions of SPDX, SPDX 2.2 and SPDX 2.3. So 2.2 is the ISO standard, and 2.3 is a revision over 2.2, but 2.3 will not be pushed as an ISO standard, as they are working on SPDX 3. So they expect that it will be SPDX 3.0 that will be pushed to ISO. So several things. For the moment, SPDX 3.0 is not yet finalized. They had promised a final version several times already, but for the moment it's not yet done. So this means that, for instance, the tools are not at all ready to produce or consume SPX3, since it's not yet fully done. So that's why we selected for the moment the ISO version SPDX 2.2 that might evolve in the future. And yes, as you said, one of the biggest differences between SPDX2 and SPDX3 is that SPDX3 will be modular with a core and a number of profiles. One profile for license compliance, one profile for security, one profile for artificial intelligence, and so on. So, well, it will be modular, but also much bigger than SPDX2. And so, yes, for the moment, we recommend SPDX 2.2.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions for now.
Okay, so you are welcome to join the mailing list and to ask questions or clarification if needed. We will be happy to answer.
Thanks.
And I am in the mailing list. I send the minutes of the meeting we had this morning. So one thing we discussed this morning was to propose this document to be also a specification from the Open Run Alliance. Okay. Any comments, additions, Gage?
No.
Okay. Anything else, Victor?
Yeah, I don't have no question right now. Thank you.
Okay. So don't hesitate to comment or ask question in the mailing list if you have any.
Will do.
Okay. So thank you for joining. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Good night.